What if a message directly from heaven came to warn of a threat that puts everyone's safety at risk? Today, Father Michel shares a powerful and disturbing vision of Our Lady, who revealed a possible attack from the sea. Warships would be the protagonists in a scenario of fear and uncertainty. But what is the real meaning of this heavenly warning? And how can we prepare ourselves for such an impactful revelation? Our Lady not only warned of the imminent danger, but also left important guidelines for our day. If you feel that the world is facing ever greater challenges and you want to understand how to protect your soul and be spiritually prepared, now is the time to listen carefully. After all, what would we do if a prophecy like this came true? Imagine the heavens opening and an urgent warning echoing about a coming conflict. Father Michel received a vision from Our Lady so intense that it could transform our perspective on the future. In this revelation, Our Lady not only announced the possibility of an attack, but also showed alarming details. A fleet of warships emerging from the sea, bringing with them a threat that inspires fear. This scenario invites us to reflect deeply on how we are preparing ourselves, not just physically, but spiritually, to face challenging times. Are you ready to deal with a prophecy of such gravity? Can you imagine what it would be like to experience the fulfillment of such a vision? This moment is an invitation to reflect and prepare. What is to come requires more than courage. It requires spiritual fortitude and unshakable faith. When Father Michel received this vision, he felt the weight of responsibility to share what he saw and heard. He described the imminence of a powerful and silent threat rising from the sea with destructive force. Our Lady, in her mercy, was clear in indicating the necessary steps so that we can prepare ourselves. Have you ever stopped to think about what is really essential to face the unexpected? If this message touches your heart, don't stop taking action. Like it, share it, and unite in prayer. The instructions left by Our Lady are a call to spiritual preparation. This is the time to abandon doubts and distractions, and to strengthen the faith that will be our shield in the times to come. Each of us needs to strengthen ourselves spiritually, because faith will be our greatest weapon against the coming storms. This video is not just a report. It is a call for us to wake up and unite in prayer and vigilance. Our Lady invites us to intensify our prayers, to strengthen our ties with God, and to seek protection in the practices of faith. Faced with such an important revelation, an essential question arises. Are we spiritually prepared to face a challenge of this magnitude? This is the time to reflect seriously and, if necessary, strengthen our spiritual preparation. Father Michel not only heard Our Lady's warning, but understood that this message is a call to vigilance, an orientation so that we are attentive to the signs and strengthened by something that no army, no matter how powerful, can destroy: true faith. This prophecy should not be seen as a final sentence, but as a warning. It is a reminder that we need to be ready to defend not only our homes, but above all our souls. The world is constantly changing, and the forces at work around us often remain hidden until they become unavoidable. With this revelation, we are called to understand that time is limited and preparation is urgent. Are you really ready for what might happen? How are you strengthening your spirit and your faith in such uncertain times? Ignoring Our Lady's call would be a serious mistake, as it is not just a warning, but an invitation to take part in preparing for what is to come. My brothers and sisters, says Father Michel, Our Lady came to me, and her words were clear and carried the weight of a warning that cannot be neglected. He describes that the vision was not symbolic, but a concrete warning, an anticipation of events that could occur at any moment. It spoke of a dark force that would emerge from the sea, he explains, and revealed to us the role we must play as children of faith in the face of what is to come. This vision is not just an omen, but a call to action. What are we doing today to strengthen ourselves spiritually? Our Lady spoke of the sea, continues Father Michel, describing a fleet of ships that carried the shadow of war. He invites us to interpret this image with the eyes of faith, because the threats that are approaching are not just physical but spiritual. The Virgin Mary's message is clear, he insists. She warns us about forces that go beyond what we can see. You may think this is just a metaphor, but I say, it's a real warning, and we need to act. We need to unite. Father Michel makes it clear that there is no room for doubt. He reinforces that each of us must arm ourselves spiritually. Are you prepared to strengthen your faith? For him, this vision was also a test of his own faith. When I heard Our Lady's words, he confesses, I felt the weight of each of those ships described. They symbolize a threat that advances slowly, but with implacable fury. This is the time to listen to this call, to strengthen ourselves, and to respond with faith and courage to the warnings that come from heaven. Father Michel urges us to open our eyes and listen to Our Lady's call, which invites us to act and prepare ourselves spiritually. He insists on the non-negotiable importance of faith as our greatest defense. Be in prayer and stand firm. He advises with serenity and conviction. According to him, Our Lady revealed that the only true protection lies in the faith we carry in our hearts. But how many of us are really willing to walk this path? How many are prepared to defend their souls? Tell my children not to fear, but to be prepared, says Father Michel, with a look that reflects the depth of the warning. His voice carries the weight of Our Lady's message, calling us to action. He reminds us of our role as spiritual soldiers, united by faith and courage. Every prayer counts, he says. Every act of kindness and faith is a wall against the approaching darkness. Do you feel this call in your heart? Now is the time to listen to this message and make a decision on how to prepare. My words are not my own, says the priest. They're the message of a mother who wants to protect her children. His voice overflows with the intensity and urgency of the warning, insisting that we must listen and act. Spiritual preparation, he explains, is a daily battle that cannot be postponed. You need to be ready, each and every one of you, warns Father Michel. He calls on those who have faith to stand up and be strong. This message should not be a cause for fear, but an invitation to wake up. Are you ready to listen and prepare? He asks directly, inviting us to reflection and action. Dear children, he begins seriously. Our Lady directs us to prepare our hearts and minds for what is to come. He emphasizes that this preparation is not superficial, but a building of inner fortitude that only prayer and faith can sustain. Do you understand what that means? Father Michel pauses, allowing the words to resonate in our souls. It is a call to return to the heart of faith, to the refuge that only the Blessed Mother can offer. Have you ever sought shelter in that heart? He asks, his eyes reflecting the urgency of the message. Our Lady, he said, asks us to intensify our daily prayers and strengthen our ties with God. Prayer is not just a request, he explains. It is a powerful spiritual weapon against the invisible forces that wish to weaken us. This is a call to arm ourselves with faith, courage, and prayer, trusting in Our Lady's support to face any challenge that comes our way. She spoke clearly. Prayer is a powerful shield against all evil. Father Michel's firm voice emphasizes this essential guidance. Do you understand the power of a prayer set in faith? He asks. If you already pray the rosary, intensify it. If you don't already, start today, because the time to protect yourself spiritually is now. In addition, Our Lady has asked for fasting. He explains, offer sacrifices for the conversion of the world, because many are blind to what is to come. Father Michel reinforces that fasting is not just a renunciation, but a powerful spiritual tool. It purifies the soul, brings us closer to God, and opens our spiritual eyes. Are you willing to make this sacrifice? To purify yourselves in the name of faith and protection. His question resounds like a direct call, challenging us to reflect on our spiritual priorities. In times of darkness, he explains, Our Lady teaches us that the light of faith is the guide to the right path. She asked us to strengthen our communion with God, not just individually, but as a community. The union of the faithful is a fortress against any threat, because shared faith has even greater power, he says. Be together, share the faith. Pray for each other, exhorts Father Michel. He asks with intensity, how many of us are willing to walk side by side on this spiritual journey? To join forces to face what lies ahead. He ends his guidelines with a message of trust. Our Lady said that our greatest shield is full trust in God. Do not fear, for He is with us. Spiritual preparation, he continues, is an act of total surrender to divine power. Are you ready for this surrender? Ready to trust? Even in the face of the unknown. He pauses, allowing his words to resonate deeply. According to him, Our Lady's request is not just a call to faith, but a call to commit to one's own salvation. His voice filled with emotion, Father Michel declares, "Our faith is tested at times like this, when Our Lady's words demand a clear response from us." He looks as if he can see every heart that hears her message. She warned us not to live in fear, but to live with faith and determination. Are you ready to take that step? To affirm your faith, even in the midst of uncertainty, he asks, his intense gaze reflecting the seriousness of his words. This is the moment to abandon doubts and everything that weakens the soul. He concludes by saying that spiritual preparation requires total surrender, a life of prayer and sacrifice. Father Michel reminds us that this call from Our Lady is not just a warning, but an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to God, trusting that faith is the key to overcoming any adversity. Don't think that spiritual preparation is a burden or that the path to faith is unreachable, encourages Father Michel firmly. Our Lady believes in each and every one of us. She gave us this warning because she knows that we are capable of overcoming any adversity. He asks, do you feel the strength in your heart to follow this path? But he warns, don't walk this journey alone. With a welcoming tone, the priest emphasizes the importance of unity. Our Lady was clear in saying that this preparation must be done in community. He emphasizes the value of being together in faith, explaining that each one of you is a pillar of light, and when we unite, we form a fortress that no evil can break down. He pauses before asking seriously, are you willing to be that light? To add your faith to that of others? To protect and also be protected? For it is from this union that true strength is born. With an inclined gesture, he reinforced the gravity of his words, almost as if he wanted to reach each heart individually. Be ready, the priest exhorted. Our Lady has asked us not to fear, but also not to ignore what is to come. She has given us all the instructions and guidance we need to face the future with courage. Father Michel emphasizes that in addition to spiritual preparation, it is essential to have a courageous heart. Every prayer, every sacrifice, every moment of faith is an essential step in this preparation. We mustn't waste a moment. He looks at the audience, asking directly, do you feel you are capable of answering this call? In his final words, Father Michel conveys a message of hope. We are not alone. God is with us, and He has sent our Blessed Mother to guide and protect us. However dark the path may seem, faith is the light that illuminates our steps. He appeals, if this message has touched your heart, share it with others. This truth needs to reach those who have not yet heard the call. Father Michel concludes with an invitation. Commit yourself to spreading this word. Protect those you love and help strengthen our faith community. Every gesture you make makes a difference, so that Our Lady's words reach as many people as possible. And with a firm gaze full of faith, he concludes, today is the day to choose to live with strength, hope, and unshakable faith. Together, we are stronger. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your like and subscribe to the Living Hope channel on YouTube. Activate notifications by clicking on the bell to receive other publications.